Hey, looks like I am live, even though I can't hear anything. My headphones. Hello. Take a look here. Looks like I got some technical issues to work through. Test, test. Work through. Oh, okay. What's coming through? I just can't hear anything because basically nobody's talking right now because there's nobody watching right now. But that's kind of the risk you take to do so at the last minute. That's why when I do a normal stream, I promote to ensure people are there. And well, I'm not at the point yet where just me is a big draw to stuff like that. So I'll sit here for a few minutes. I'm gonna talk about some things, and if people show up, then they show up, and that's just fine. If nobody shows up, then you know, Charlotte's have a lesson learned. I just thought that this was really nobody streaming tonight because at least most of the people I watch that stream are over at Zolocon. And for some reason, they think that just because they're at a con, that excuses them from having to do their job and entertain me on a Saturday night. So, so that's good. But yeah, hey, that's what it is. So while I'm here, I'm just gonna do a little channel update here. Um, with this, so I am at 130 subscribers, which is something. I mean, it's you know, not even half a drop in a bucket. However, it's a lot further than what I thought would do. Hey, good evening, Bear. It's good to see you. Um, so one of the things I talked about this the other day, and when I hit 500, I'm going to have a giveaway. And for some reason, I've been hanging on to this for a while, and now I know why I'm hanging on to it. It's because when I get to 500 subs, I'm going to give away one of this. This still sealed in the box. Especially now with some announcements that came out today. I already have one that's sitting way up over there in the corner on there. But I thought I would do that once I hit 500. Be a neat little thing to do. Like that massive success of Figure Fight Club the other night hitting 1,000. That was pretty exciting. And I'm looking forward to his hobby stream next Friday to do the for him to do his giveaway, and I'm going to be eating Lucky Charms and carrying on rabbit's feet and horseshoes and whatever I can kind of increase my luck, because I wouldn't mind winning that dragonfly, to be honest. Hey Jeff, how y'all doing? There's a few people in here now. So like I said, I want to be talking about just. I'm going to see a few more people show up. Yes, I got some things I want to share. There's been a lot of news lately of stuff, and I want to go over some of the things that I'm looking at getting for myself, and then talk about something I really wanted to do. And also, here's what I'll do. Yeah, this is I would be more than honored if the Council of Jeffs show up just to watch this. I said, just I was sitting there, I was realizing, I was like, man, my Saturdays are usually, yeah, I mean, honestly, these live streams are fairly replaced television for me. I just there's a few shows I watch, but here's the thing: is I can just wait until the next day and watch them on Hulu, or and we get Max for free through our phones, and I have a Disney Plus subscription. So one of the things I'm interested in, I can just watch those streaming anytime I want to. I don't have to wait until what I call appointment television. I have to be somewhere Tuesday at 8:00, and I think most of us have done this or around. I know remember those days where you had to watch or not a program VCR. So the age of streaming is great because I can just wait till the end of the week and watch the 4 or 5 shows I like to watch. But I began to notice that more and more that YouTube streams have kind of replaced television watching, where I feel like I got to be somewhere at a certain time to watch the stream live, because I like the participation part of it. I like the chat part of it. The I like that part, but then again, I could always watch stuff on the replay, and I've done that a few things to catch what I miss. But again, so 500 subscriptions, 500 subs to my channel, then I'm going to hit I want to give away that Fortnite boat. I've been hanging on that one for a while, and I may have a couple other things I'll do as prizes. I want to get to that point. So so just a couple of things. Like I said, New York Toy Fair going on, and again, a lot of it has been just stuff we've seen before that we already know that's coming out. Hasbro has been, they've shared all their stuff before they went to Toy Fair, but we got a few more pictures of some stuff from there. One thing is, I'm not going to get this. Let's see if I can share the screen. I'm not going to get this, but I'm bringing this up for a purpose. So this is the Black Series, the Cassian Andor. They kind of, they just dropped the trailer for Andor. And I'm with everybody else here. The Disney Plus has kind of been hit or miss. A lot of inconsistency. Andor was pretty good. The first season was pretty good. I like it. For me, I gravitate more towards the stuff that has things to do with the that original trilogy. Yeah, that's what I grew up on. I've come over time to accept the prequels. I kind of, as I've gotten older, I've kind of understood what was going on more with it, and I kind of learned to appreciate what was happening. But the prequel, the original trilogy is great. So I'm a real sucker for things that happen during that. I think that was their biggest mistake, is not sticking as close to that era as possible. So Rogue One, for all its faults, I loved Rogue One. It's what it was is for me, that was for those of you who remember tabletop role playing games. Star Wars had the East End games, I think it was. So to me, that was just like that was an East End adventure where you were in the solid Star Wars universe. You weren't trying to make changes to canon or do weird stuff. It was just like, this is what's going on the other side of the galaxy, while our intrepid heroes are on their side of the galaxy doing their thing. So season 2 comes on. They started showing things. Some of the things they showed they're making an expanded universe vehicle, a canon, just like they did the E-Wings for Ahsoka. And that's what it was. That is what it should have been. That it stuck to that. They didn't try to make anything other than that. Yeah. So the reason why I brought this Andor figure, Black Series, I'm not going to get this. I don't collect Black Series. I did, but what I would like for them to do though is, I'm a big TIE Fighter fan. My bet is that the next vintage collection vehicle, so they could charge you $100 for it, is going to be that TIE Avenger, because it's got enough differences than regular TIE Fighters. They could really jazz it up a little bit higher end. But I would love to get this figure in the 3 3/4 inch, because I've inverse. I went down a rabbit hole and I started collecting the TIE Strikers from Rogue One. The only thing I don't like about those is the Nerf gun attachment to it, but I can live with that. And it's and I've been able to find them on Mercari and get them for cheap. Like usually I pay around $20 for what in box. I can find some in box. They're starting to creep up there now. So what I've done is I've ended up with 5 TIE Strikers. So I'm slowly building a TIE Striker squadron. And I can the TIE Fighter pilot that comes with those is the 5 POA design, where the arms and legs don't bend. So I love the older figures with all the articulation and the removable helmets and stuff like that. So right now, I think I have enough TIE Fighter pilots with that old style, the removable helmet, to fill my TIE Strikers. But if I get any more, then I'm kind of out of luck because those are getting hard to find. So what I would love to see is I'd love to see this in a 3 3/4 inch, 3 3/4 inch, and I can just pop the heads off and swap the heads from the TIE Fighter pilots. And I love the look of this uniform, this test pilot uniform. That's the only reason why I brought this up. The E-wing. I've been wanting to get ever since. So I have one of the old. One of the old X-Wings they did, the first Luke Skywalker Rogue 5 one, that was the very nice, the large scale one. It was like the mini one, and you could add the droid cycle R2D to the nice cockpit. You press the button. So I had an old one of those. It was looking shabby. It was kind of a Florida, storing things in garages and attics in Florida is not a good idea. So I took that, I stripped it out, and I repainted it completely into a Corellian Defense X-Wing. So I saw the Vintage Collection TIE Fighter, the Vintage Collection X-Wings, and I love those. I could never, but they were just very expensive. And by the time I had the cash to get one, they were gone. And then I think the last one they did the Poe one, which I really liked that one. I wanted to get that one in the Anton Merrick from Rogue One, the blue one. But when they showed the E-wing, when they did the E-wing, I'm working on a way to get a hold of one of those. So I really want those. I'm a big Expanded Universe fan, and two ships from the Expanded Universe that I really love is the E-wing and the TIE Defender. And both those are now canon in the new Disney canon. So I want to get those. So that's the only reason why I wanted this figure. I don't want the Black Series figure. I want this in a Vintage Collection style. So I can swap the heads. I can build my TIE Striker Squadron correctly. So the next thing I want to talk about, just real quick, before I get to what I really want to, and hey, kid, don't worry, I haven't done much. It's just me rambling. They're trying this off the cuff a little bit, but listen, they left the time slot wide open because they all want to go play and go to a con together. So I'm taking over the spot here. Is this right here? So I get it with the Legends. I have a very large collection of Legends. So mainly it's a lot of Iron Man and in the MCU Iron Man and stuff like that. So, but I build teams with Legends, and you know how the Legends is. It's very hard to build because they don't release consistently. So. A while back, I started building an X-Force, Uncanny X-Force team, which I never read the comic, didn't know much, but I liked the style of the black and the gray uniforms. So over time, as they've come out, I picked up the Wolverine, which I really like that version of Wolverine. I mean, it's the same body they've done thousands of times over, but it just looks really good in that black and gray. Then I got the X-23 they put out a few years ago, which was really nice. Then I picked up Deathlock, which I had. Deathlock is a favorite character of mine, and I had the one they did at the regular Deathlock. I don't know why he was included in Uncanny X-Force. He's not a mutant, but I like that look, so I have him. Eventually, I wound up getting the Uncanny X-Force Deadpool. Never got the Angel and Warpath. That had come out at Toys R Us. So I was like, man, I always wanted that. I love that Angel. I had the Archangel figure they did that's like this one in the but with the silver wings, and I traded that in. But it was kind of like, that was a great figure. So now I was kind of glad they were going to, when they mentioned they were going to re-release Archangel as an Uncanny X-Force. So I guess we haven't seen this one yet. They showed it here at the at Toy Fair. So just take a look at it a little bit. Again, the body, it's the body. It's they're not going to do anything too new with that, but I like the paint on. I like them instead of that metallic silver going to that kind of that grayish white paint. Give it its two heads with a nice angry face on it and those nice wings that they had. It looks like they're doing it in kind of a silvery white color, which is nice. I'd prefer if they did the silver wings like they did the first one. There's a good close up of it. Yeah, I don't think they have a good picture. So what they did is also with this one is they kind of teased this. And I was kind of excited for it, but then now that I've seen it in execution, it's one of these things that, my God, Hasbro, listen, this is where my frustration lies with Hasbro on Legends and G.I. Joe Classifieds. Is you will do some things on a figure exceptionally well, or you'll add some sort of really neat detail to it, and then you will just screw it up with another detail somewhere. So the idea was that the Archangel's wings, if you know from the comics, he can the feathers, it's metallic wings, but he can eject feathers from his wings. They're like little blades, and they have a neurotoxin that paralyzes folks. So you get sliced with these or nicked with them, then it'll paralyze you. So that was always a cool thing, him going just slinging these blades at you out of his feathers. So they teased before with this like that says, "Oh, that's cool." So we're going to get the blade effects, right? And so now looking in the execution of them, where it just had this little blue thing on the tips, kind of hanging on, and the wings coming out. Maybe it's just that they did a bad pose on it, or what. There's been packaging, so I'm kind of disappointed in the wing effects there a little bit. So, and then of course, they're redoing the Warpath one, and you get like this with the darker gray. This Warpath Thunderbird. I think they said this is the Omega Red body, and I'm getting to the point where I can't tell because they just do the same thing all the time, and it looks the same. I don't really get that, but I'll get this to complete the team with that. But they're 2-packing. Last time it was 2-packed with Archangel. This time they're 2-packing with the X-23, and I know a lot of people are all over this X-23 figure. I prefer the one that the original, the other X-Force figure for X-23. So probably, shockingly, she will go into my trade slash fodder bin. Yeah. So the head sculpts are nice. I like that. It's just the other one I really like because it was basically a straight up copy of the X-Force Wolverine suit. So they looked really good together. So before I go to my next topic, here's what I want to do. I can only have a couple of you do this if you want to. Mainly because I use the free version of StreamYard, and I know it can handle a little bit more than what I want to do. This will be my first time using this feature. So I just want to try it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in here in the chat. Bring it up here. So if at least two of you want to jump on before I bring up my next topic, because I'd like to have a discussion about the next thing I'm about to show here in there. And so, so if anybody would like to do that, to come on with me for this next part, no pressure, no rush. I could talk about the next part on my own. I could talk about the next part till we all are sick of the next part. Just so you know, but if anybody would like to do that, like I said, I'll take two people, the first two that want to pop in and do this, because I really would like to get some reactions and actually discuss some other stuff that was revealed today. So I know I'm probably catching some of you guys. It's like, I don't have my setup all going on, or I'm on my phone or something like that. And if nobody does it, then you know what? I'll go on about and talk about it. I'll give just a couple more minutes. Again, it was like no pressure. Like I said, I know this was unplanned. Okay, yeah, I'll give you a minute. I know this is unplanned, but saw the opportunity. Just wanted to sneak in here and do it. And for those of you that are just coming in, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, go ahead and do it because when I hit 500, I'm going to do a giveaway, and it's the Fortnite boat. I still have this one sealed in the package. I've got another one way in the back over in the corner. It's mine. That's forever on my. I'm going to customize it list of things I never get around to customizing with that. So I said that's I'm at 1:30 right now, so it's going to take a while. So I'm no in a rush, but I figured I'd try to do that with that. So while I'm waiting, so again, yeah, talk about this X Force again. So that's just kind of a team I was assuming. The Nightcrawler's coming out, so I'm going to get the X Force Nightcrawler. But there's one team I'm really trying to build from the X-Men. And the thing is with the X-Men, I see people all the time when they first get into Legends, they're like, hey, I like the X-Men. Who do I need to have on my team? Well, the thing is, the X-Men had so many iterations all the way from your classic first team up until now that you really can just build any team of X-Men and make it your team. I was introduced to the X-Men when about I want to say about a year before Inferno started back in the 80s. And so the team of X-Men I was introduced to was the Outback X-Men. Hey, it's Jeff. We had Jeff today. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're. So I'm going to finish this story real quick, and then I'm going to bring up my next topic because I would like to get your interest on it, input on it. So it's the so what I was saying is that my first introduction to the X-Men, which makes it my X-Men team, was the Outback era. For those you don't know, it was after the famous we had the Morlocks, the Mutant Massacre, and then it rolled into the fall of the Mutants storyline for those, and in that Fall of the Mutants, the one of the X-Men team at the time was presumed dead. And in fact, it was a whole thing. They sacrificed themselves so they could fix something, and so they wound up in an old Reavers base in Australia. So I've been slowly over the past few years accumulating that team based on so far I found a good Wolverine that kind of represents his look in that era. Then of course they recently did the Rogue in her green and black suit. And that was back when she was had absorbed the psyche and powers of Captain Marvel. Sorry, Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel. But then, of course, I've got a Dazzler from that, the retro card Dazzler. I've got the retro card Long Shot was the one to wait for. I've got a stand-in for Storm. It's the retro carded black suit Storm. I'm probably going to get a few more head sculpts because Storm was one. Her costume changed frequently. No matter what era she's in, she's on. She can seem to until they got to about the X-Men, X-Men Blue and Gold, where it kind of stayed kind of steady for a while. So I've got a Storm for that. Then I think all that I'm missing now is I need a Cyclops, not Cyclops, Colossus. And there's been 1,000 Colossus, but at that time he had been locked into his metal form, so he would just basically he didn't have a shirt, so he's trying to find a shirtless Colossus. Would be great. And then they have not made the version of Psylocke where she was in she wore like an armored suit, like a knight armor. That was really nice. Rogue would always call her Lady Lancelot while she was wearing that armor. So when they announced the Wolverine 2-packs with an armored Psylocke, I got excited, but then it was the Revanche one, so it was like all that. But so I'll just do that to vamp away some time. But I appreciate you joining me. Jeff, I love your show. I love your videos. I love the show you and Mike and Zakanan do. So what I want to talk about is the big announcement from Valverse today. Did you see that?
Yeah, just real quick, just that is now a Mikey and Zakanan show. I stepped away, so but yeah, it's a great show. I hope they do really great, and wish nothing but the best for them. And yeah, I did see the Valverse thing today. I made some financial mistakes.
Yeah, I did too. So it was so let me come see if I can get this. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to bring each one up to take a look at them because this was I tell you I'm almost show level for this brand. As I've pared back my other collecting of things, this one it's one I'll do. So this is the first one is the Ghost Operative.
Yeah.
And I know, yeah, like I said, this is where it's I don't know if I would call it. It's hard. So he gets a lot of crap for repaint stuff. This is the new body. This is the same body as the Recon. The Recon body they did. So it's basically the same Recon body and the same Recon gear pack that just came out.
Yeah,
just painted with this. By the way. Now, but I love this figure. I love the look of this figure, and I got to think about. I was like, well, the thing is, I used to be in the military, and I still do a few things, and every once in a while, I'll look at them. If you ever go to like True Spec or there's a few other companies that make BDUs and gear and stuff like that. Yeah. The gear and the BDUs are all the same. It's just different camouflage. It just depends on what camouflage or color you want it. So I would look at it this way. This is that you're living in a post collapsed economy, in the United States. So you're not going to have a whole lot of variety of what you can get. So a lot of the gear is the same that you're going to get everywhere. It's just that's where you just pick your thing. Yeah, but the camo on this is great looking. And he did say there was something on the file card about how I think he said this is one of the kind of like a design he had in the beginning, so it has a place in the lore.
These were the guys that kind of emerged right after shit hit the fan, as it were.
Yeah. Because when I first saw this, I was like, well, I got an idea where I want it in my collection. Mm-hmm. But then when he said that, I was like, okay, well, I'll wait I won't like stockpile these just yet to do that. And they did. It's coming in the same card, the new
my favorite card. My favorite thing about this character, about this whole fucking thing, left-handed draw.
See, I'm of to my because I guess maybe it's because I'm a righty, so I see the world every. Yeah. So but I just said there's just no way to be able to. There could be a way, but I don't think it's worth the effort to try to figure out a way to make that holster reversible. So
I'm perfectly fine with the way it is. Yeah. But I hear not a lot of people are going to be okay with that. But
I'm not going to let that deter me from buying this figure.
Exactly.
Because quite frankly, the pistol stays in the holster most of the time. When I'm posing these, and it's like I said, the only thing is I want a Reaper. I keep saying this. I want a Reaper gear kit with this like cut down vest, but instead of the magazine pouches, they mount a pistol pouch on the chest for a driver. So
yeah, that'd be good. Yeah,
I'm real excited about that. And then he drops this. The Crimson Shadow Infantry.
I like it.
Yeah, that's again same body. It's the same thing. It's just this time to substitute the AR style pistol that came with the Sidewinder, which I like that one. I'm a sucker for guns that are that have suppressed barrels. I was a big fan of the old MP5 SD3. That was one where it's the silencer. We got a couple of those in a weapons pack. But then it's you have because I got used to Swarm, where they're these they're biological, but they've been enhanced with cybernetics or something like that, so they're not really human. Then we have the Praetorian, which were sort of robots. So that's kind of where I thought the Crimson line was going to be heading more that style. But then you drop a human figure, and I was like, okay. And then in that nice. He's not hiding anywhere in a bush or anything. It is just a beautiful application of the paint jobs with that. So,
but I like the grenades and stuff. That's a welcomed addition. Like kind of a long time coming, if you ask me. But that's just my 2 cents. And
yeah,
I do like the rifle. I wish. See, these are like such stupid complaints that I have. They're not even complaints. Like I wish they would come with monocles instead of the whole rig, like a
Yeah.
monocle down rather than that, because that it's whatever. But I mean,
Yeah. I'm not.
that's my
Yeah.
only real like complaint. I mean, no.
Yeah. Like I don't think for me, the goggles. I don't even put them on the figure because
No, neither do I.
I mean, they. I think he said he's improved the the helmets, and I've got them on. I do have them on my recon guys that I built. But to me, that's just one thing that will pop off if I touch it too much. And I'm not a big fan with the quad vision ones. And I think I would like to see if he does one with the monocle.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that would be another good thing for like a driver gear pack, because drivers will use them, but usually what they'll do is they'll use a monocle type, so because it kills the depth perception when you are looking through those.
Absolutely.
But I expect to see this gun used a lot. I want them. Every gun pack I buy. So I've got multiples of things stacked up of different guns and pistols. So like that. So, and there's the package. Like the blister card package.
Yeah. Same.
So I would wish like he would have shown the file cards on the back, because I like the file card feature too. And then the next one is, this is something I've been waiting for. So I live in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So I have absolutely no use for Arctic figures or desert figures.
Right.
I get it. Your imagination can expand the world, but and I also too, I think, so I served in the military. I got out in the mid '90s.
Yeah.
So it was really before Desert Storm just happened. So we kind of had the little desert stuff. And then, but I think it's just the desert tan has just become so synonymous with the war on terror that everybody's forgetting there's other places and stuff like that. So I live in Florida. So when he showed the troop builder, the Maritime guy, yeah, I get it. Yeah, Jeff Morris. So that's I understand that. If I lived in that kind of area, that's what I do. Like I got as many of the Delta figures as I could, because they had it was the green, the olive drab with that. So when I first started collecting Val versus doing troop builders, I did two. I got some of the Delta figures in the green, and I picked up some of the oh my gosh, the figure that had the blue in it originally, that was all blue.
Yeah,
the riot trooper, I think.
Yeah.
And then he came out with the security pack, which was the gray vest and stuff like that, because I kind of was going to use those as kind of like I had the green guys for the the Florida terrain, and then I had these guys who were kind of like the Port Authority guys. They'd be down to the ports and stuff like that, but it just never looked right to me, and I wound up trading those bodies away. But I think this is going to be my version of the Desert Trooper. I'm going to buy a handful of these, and I just got to figure out. Unfortunately, he didn't reveal a gear pack for these figures.
Right.
You guys said, "Well, I want to see what you guys come up with." So now I'm trying to scramble trying to find all the pieces of that security force.
Off the top of my head, like goggles, tack vest with breathing apparatus, like ditchable, like flippers and things like that. But I mean, that's obviously just water to land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, that'd be great to see. I mean, I don't need a effing harpoon gun or anything like that, but like, something that would be that our modern Navy kind of uses nowadays, which is that modern tack vest with the whole rig. So
I would like to see the like the body armor vest, but they put the a flotation collar around it, because I used to work on those. It's just like it just rolls up, and it's got a little CO2 cartridge in there, and that if it comes in contact with seawater, it inflates. Because all you have to do is keep the head above the water, so that way they can be tactical and safe. But then if they get knocked in, and then having a gear pack with the the rebreather and stuff like that. So I'm planning on buying this will be something that in every order I do, I'll put one or two of these guys in that order till I build up.
Yeah.
I usually get 4 of those. And then down the line, we got to have female versions of when he comes out. If he ever does a new female body, female versions of the Recon in this guy too. So And again, including that nice. I like the gun that came with the Recon. That also came with Sinchi.
Yeah, that's a good
as
gun.
well. But when I saw the Sidewinder, I was like, no, this is the gun I want. I want a bunch of these.
Yeah, it's a good rifle.
Yeah. So finally, I'm getting my Desert Troops. So, and then of course weapons packs. He says he's going to put out Alpha through Zulu, and I'm going to collect Alpha through Zulu. Bring those up there. So this is the gun that came with the Recon pack.
Yep.
But we're getting a drum magazine, a beta magazine, and the two. So I think that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I like that. I like those for the options. I like the drum mag a lot. So
yeah, that's. I don't think I'm going to put it on this though, because I'm not. I don't care for that gun too much. Right. I think I kept it on one Recon Trooper and then replaced it with. I had a bunch of other ones that had the silver and black two tones.
Yeah.
From the other weapons packs, I replaced it. But yeah, those magazines I definitely want for those. And then there's the new pistol, the K-bar knife, which is great. You know, I was a Marine, so K-bar. I like the K-bar knife. It's the one that came with Atlas. I just wish we could get some sheaths and holsters. That would, because everybody this. And then he's thrown in the bar rifles.
Yeah. I didn't see the World War II weaponry coming. If I'm being honest, I was a little surprised by that.
Yeah, I was too. I know he's talked about it. And so that's kind of his next. You know, I think it'd be cool to see like a flashback action force in World War II. But it's a good weapon to start with. I mean, we've had the Thompson, several variants of the Thompson machine gun so far, but I'll probably take these and some of those Thompsons and put them in Siege's armory in his private collection.
Yeah, that guy looks like he collects guns.
Yeah, then we're getting this one again, which I'm okay with that one. 2 new revolvers. And then we're getting Desert Rats M249 Bravo with Lucifer printed on the side. And then, of course, more grenades. You can never not have enough grenades.
This is true. The more grenades, the better.
Yeah. Then I didn't see this. There's a little note on here. What is this?
Yeah.
I said maybe loose. So, okay, so this is. I didn't see this earlier, but I like this because because you can probably just hear it right now that somebody's going to do a video where they take this rifle because this is the rifle that came in the set, and they're going to complain that these are loose.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's kind of, but it's like so. And I said, I already said before, I'm not going to use these for this rifle. I'm going to use these in other rifles. So, but he said right here, it says, but somebody will complain about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And then last, this is kind of an odd choice, but I get it. I would have preferred a whole brand new Crimson set. So it's basically everything we've got with the Crimson, the Praetorian, just in a different color and more shields.
I like the more shields idea. I just wish that I had the red Praetorians. All I have are the green ones.
I only got one red Praetorian,
and
I kind of wish I had a green one, but I was never able to get one. But down the road, it'll pop up.
Oh,
and I don't really care for the shield. I like the idea of the shield.
Yeah,
on it. To me, it's just one more thing to get snagged in the display. But I saw somebody take one of them online and do multiple shields across it, which I thought was pretty good.
My only problem with that figure in particular, when you don't have a shield pegged in, there's a gigantic fucking hole.
Yeah,
and that's my only real. I wish there would be like coverings or something you put on there, but I mean that's my only real.
Or I would have liked to seen a weapons pack with like a rocket launcher attachment that pegs into those holes or something, like a modular system. but we're getting another blade, so you do 2 blades on the arm, another nail gun in a different color, and what I'll probably do is I'll probably take this rifle right here and magazines and give it to the Crimson Guard security guard.
Yeah,
so that way it have them kind of do the and partner them up with that Praetorian guard, kind of like the human cop and robot from Futurama.
Yeah.
Kind of have them walk around. So again, like I said, I had a meeting this morning that took place at 9:30. So I'm sitting out in the parking lot, watching the video. And they had to go walk into the meeting and resist the urge to click on the website on my phone. And then I had a bunch of errands to run. So it wasn't until about 2:00 that I got home. And I sat down, I went and I opened up the website, looked at each one and went, click, add to cart, add to cart. So I got one of each of them, coming. And I know eventually and I'm kind of glad that the Steel Brigade isn't available yet. So this was a lot. This is like over $100 and stuff today, but I know that one's coming, and I'm looking forward to that one. That one coming.
Same.
So which ones were you getting out of this group?
I got one of everything today.
Okay, so you did what I did.
Yep, and I think Woody picked up a couple of Steel Brigade soldiers for me at Zolocon too. So
I wish I would have asked somebody to do that, but everybody's asking people to do that, and I don't know if folks well know that make that ask yet of it. I know somebody would do it, because we're all a bunch of kind souls.
I mean, I've done it before for folks.
Yeah. But like I said, I know they're coming. They're coming to the website at some point anyway. So, the only thing, the reason why I didn't get the green Praetorian was that I just didn't. There's a bunch of other stuff I wanted to get, so I had to make sacrifices. By the time I was in the position to get that, they were all pretty much all gone. So,
my problem is that I broke my budget this month already. Friday, I found a deal on a Mafex comic Captain America, and I was like, "Well, I'm buying this," and then this happened, and I went and buying that too. Oh shit! So,
man,
yeah.
Well, it's hard too, but like I said, I'm cutting back on Legends. Like I'm barely getting anything out of that. And again, I know at $30, I feel like I get the value that I'm looking for out of these figures at 30. And that's where it's the value is all perceived value. There's no, I know you could probably break a figure down by each piece and assign a price point to it, because that's what companies do. But at the end of the day, all value is subjective. And there's like something there's some figures I would never not buy no matter what the price is, because it's just not there for me. There's some that I won't because of the price. So with Valverse, as of right now, I feel like I can consistently get good value, and plus it's the little things like that on that, talking about the little thing about the magazine. And then I saw somebody complaining on one of the pages that they didn't like the eyeballs on the recon trooper. They said like the eyes were wonky, and so they contacted Valverse, and Valverse is sitting with a replacement head, and they said that was trashy customer service. It was like, it's like, were you wanting them to send you a whole new figure, just for the head, which I think that's what they were wanting to do. But I had a it was the early weapons pack that had the gold Desert Eagle in it.
Yeah,
and I bought one, and I got it off a Big Bad Toy Store because they didn't have any on the Valorous website. It arrived and it didn't have that gold Desert Eagle, and I wanted it for Pimp Daddy Destro.
Sure.
And so I just tapped him and said, "Hey, I got this from BBTS. It didn't have this one pistol, and I really wanted. What do I have to do to get to at least get that pistol. And they shipped me the pistol all by itself. It's like I wasn't expecting it. I thought that was they would actually go through the effort. They probably had to open a pack up and take that pistol out of to do that. And it's just sometimes some things have happened where I got to keep the figure that had an issue, or and they send me a free one. But it's everything they do. I get it. It gets fixed, and that's what I tell folks all the time. That's what I tell my kids. Is like, when something gets messed up, the customer doesn't want to know why it got messed up. They want to know, what are you going to do to make it right? And that's what Valverse does, or in my experience has always done, is that any problem I've had, they've made it right. And that's all I can ask for out of a company.
Yeah.
I tell folks, my son, he collects Transformers, and he's had a couple where he got that were not assembled right, that came with 2 left feet and stuff like that. And every time he's contacted Hasbro, they'll do is they'll send him a figure of equal or lesser value. Yeah, they won't. So he will never get he's never gotten a replacement for the thing that's messed up. He would just get another figure that was at the same price point, because everything has a price point. They don't care that you bought that figure for a certain reason. They say, well, it's only, in our estimation, it's only worth $29. You only pay $29 for it, so you will take this My Little Pony for $29 instead of the Transformer, that you really wanted, or $29. So I was Junkion. So Junkion, are you at the Zolocon? Actually, I think I saw you posted. Is there 2? Yeah. So is there anybody in the chat that was at Zolocon today?
Junkion was there. I know that much.
Yeah, I saw Junkion post some things today. See if I missed anything on here. Yeah. So that was all really had to talk about. Like I said, this is just a thing to jump on. So what do you got coming up? Jeff, you been working on anything, or?
I'm thinking about taking a few steps back from everything for a little bit. Okay. Maybe just doing Tuesdays, the open mic with Abby and stuff. But yeah. I really don't have any solid plan right now. Yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'd really like to get my house unpacked. It's still not unpacked, so yeah. But that's neither here nor there. I'll probably start doing reviews again, at least. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, well, this as I started ordering, that's why. I mean, you're doing a weekly show.
Yep.
And plus, you guys were being asked to be guests on shows, multiple times, and things like that. And I know,
Mike and Zakanen were both asked several times. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of the whole thing with the my thing is, when I started doing this, I'm only going to do a live stream once a month.
Mm-hmm.
So because I'm very busy, just like everybody else in their day-to-day lives, and I just couldn't wrap myself around that cadence. You got to be on there. Plus, you got to put content at least once or twice a week. Because you got to feed the algorithm and stuff like that if you want to do something with it. So I wasn't going to get on that roller coaster.
Yeah, it's a tough game to play for sure. And anytime that I was doing a live stream, I was always on somebody else's channel. Like Shane, Same Time Toys, always on his when he was doing his Friday stuff, and like I didn't really have like a show that was my own or whatever, which was fine because we were alternating on Figure It Out.
Yeah,
and now I'm just kind of like, well, I don't really have to do any of that, so I'm kind of okay with that. So I just might go back to talking about figures and giving like fat guy reviews on things.
Yeah,
I like doing those. So
I really like one of the things that stressed me out about this is being able to keep up with the chat at the same time, and I kind of like being in the chat, and heckling from the box seats. It's that's always fun to do. So I mean, while I got you, how's Dobby doing?
Davy is doing great. He's continuing to get stuck in places he shouldn't be, so that tells me that he is fully healthy. Um, he just got sent a coat from Diamond which is Legend Series' wife, that she made for him. So tomorrow we'll be doing a little bit of a fashion show for him, and I'll be
Oh,
sending her
oh my
some
goodness!
pictures. So yeah,
It sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Um, yeah, Kato. Since I bounced on a couple of streams, it was hard when you have it. Yeah, so I mean, that's one of the things. Like I said, I'm very much in the starter phase. Like this is so I've got like in our house we have a. This is half of a room that used to
mm-hmm.
be the back porch before we bought the house. It includes the whole thing. So about half of that is my office because I get to work from home uh, most of the time. So it's kind of been my spot where I get to keep all my stuff at, and so it's a mess. And slowly getting control over it. And I don't like using the virtual backgrounds because I tend to always look like I'm sticking halfway in and out of the of the of the background. You can tell that.
Yeah,
Uh, and the camera I'm using is like I've got an older Lenovo all-in-one. I'm using the camera that's built on that. So one day as things I'll get a better camera and better computer and a better microphone too. And I wear headphones because in about 20 minutes my kids are going to come in from an event and they are loud when they hit the door.
yeah.
It's and I don't like sharing loudness with everybody. So
It's definitely that. That's I don't know. I'm pretty lucky with my situation where I live. So I don't have the best microphone in the world, and I don't have the best camera. So it's just
yeah,
making it work, and that's
yeah.
what I'm pretty happy with. So
Well, so far it's been for me. This has kind of been a good experience because it's like I said, I just stumbled into this community.
mm-hmm.
Um, just really liked all you guys and enough to spend my time watching all you guys and get to know you. And still building. Still amazes me. Yeah, my age, this yeah, a lot of this was stuff we talked about in the '80s. Video phones and
Right? Yeah.
things like that. But being able to carry on conversations and build relations with folks that are halfway across the country, all the way around the world, that you would have never got to meet or interact with ever,
Yeah.
and we're all tied together by a
The
by
love of toys.
yeah, and I tell folks it's like I don't know when it became a stigma to be a grown person and collect like toys and stuff like that because I tell folks all the time. I remember growing up and you're watching, 50s and 60s television, and dads had train sets in their basements. And I remember I had some uncles that went and bought a slot car set, one of those
Yeah.
Tyco RC slot cars, and had it out in their garage slash game room, pool room. And none of the kids were allowed to touch it. Only the adults could. could
It's actually funny that you bring that up. So slot car racing is huge in Oklahoma. In
yeah.
every city, there's a slot car racing track, like a hobby shop to the side of it. But like every weekend, you can find like a bunch of people there doing slot car races, and it's like I went once, and it was like a really different crowd than what
Yeah.
are and I was like, okay, it's and before, like when you were a kid, everybody had that uncle that had the entire basement turned into a train thing, and they're like, oh, he just really likes trains. Oh, okay, I'm pretty sure he has autism now, but
Yeah.
so it's definitely like one of those things that comes up with it because like people got really protective over it, all that stuff, and then TV shows and movies and basically pop culture swayed people over, and like now it's okay for like the 42-year-old to talk about a dolly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Oh, and I've seen these guys with the slot cars like nowadays, like the hobby slot cars, and these guys bring
yeah.
like a mobile garage with them uh to these places, and they're like shaving tires, and
Mm-hmm.
um, it's just like crazy what they do with that stuff. But
It's nuts. It's really neat to see a different like side of life like that, but like definitely not for me.
What I don't understand is I think I kind of understand it is the RC aircraft enthusiast.
Because
they spend a lot of money on that stuff and crash and break a lot.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if I have a bad day with my Vanguard, that doesn't mean that I just threw away $200, as opposed to if I have a bad day with my airplane that I'm trying to radio control.
I just crashed 2000, taking it, trying to land it for the first time, and
right.
But it's it's crazy, but yeah, watch.
That's one of my favorite things. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's better. I think it's better nowadays because most of these bodies are made of styrofoam, and they're getting them as pre-done kits. Mm-hmm. So I guess if you can salvage the engines and electronics out of them, you're doing okay. But I remember back in the day when you had to build all that stuff up from airframe to all the servos and stuff like that. Yeah, but even then, even the kits are a couple high hundreds, low thousands on some of them.
That's too rich for my blood. My non-toy hobby that I'm really invested in is fishing. So,
okay.
I had a boat and everything else, and I was a pretty avid bass fisherman. So, mostly striper and like catfish and bass fishing. There's a little bass tournament every once in a while because we had a bass fishing club, and that's what I did before toys became the primary focus. So, yeah.
Well, you grew up in Florida. I never, I was never really a fan of seafood. Mm-hmm. You think I would, but I mean, I like all the the sea spiders and roaches. I like shrimp and lobster. Crab kind of had a bad experience with crabs when I was a kid. I actually watched how they cook them, and that kind of freaked me out. when the blue crab throws the lid off the pot, comes out screaming. It's kind of
well. The funny thing about all that is that like we were catch and release, so like we did it for sport and stuff. Yeah, and like I don't like fish. I don't like eating fish at all. I can't stand it. I'm kind of with you on that. I prefer like crab or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like freshwater fish, I'm not a fan of, and so far, not a big fan of deep sea fish either. So,
well, I've kind of orders like I went someplace one time for my wife's anniversary, and they cooked us some mahi, and I thought that was very tastes delicious. Then my wife's always after me to try salmon, because I'll eat tuna occasionally, but and I kind of like that a little bit. So I guess it's got to probably be deep water, cold water fish, and that's what like I said before. It was somebody would say, "Hey, you want some fish?" It's usually catfish, or a brim or a sheephead or something that's like it's that fresh water. Called gutter fish, ditch food, ditch fish.
Yeah.
So it's like so the I never got the taste for it, and then plus a lot of that stuff they serve it to you still in fish form. So
not a fan.
I can't look. I'm a carnivore, but I can't look my meal in the eye still. When I do that, salmon is. It was tasty. Depends on where I go to get it. It's kind of there's like I like lamb. So I like eating lamb, but it all depends on where it's cooked at because can go south on you really quick if you don't know what you're doing as a meat. But salmon is the same way. If you don't know what you're doing, then it doesn't taste as good. So with that, so I've been on here for about an hour. I didn't expect to get more. I appreciate Jeff. Thank you for coming on talking to me. I like.
We're not going to talk about mask.
Oh, Matt. Well, let's talk about mask.
Talking about mask. So, that's what's going to happen.
Okay, so here's the thing. So I was when GI Joe came out in '82, I think. I was around 10 years old, so I was kind of like on the tail end of it. But I was like really into that, and before that was Star Wars. So by the
Right.
time Mask hit, it's the same thing with the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, about 87,
So I was
84.
kind of outside the range of that. Even though I liked Mask and it was very intriguing, but for me it was like the scale was off because it was the smaller figures. So is the so I saw who's doing the Mask.
So loyal subjects, and it's the same scale as these guys, so they'll mix and match, no problem. The articulation's been improved. They've got shoulder joints, and they've got the hip joints, so they can do crazy Van Damme things and kicks and all that fun stuff. So they looked great. Like we finally got like a full reveal, and unfortunately, that full reveal reviewed the prices.
Oh.
And $30 for Condor, the green motorcycle.
See, that was the only one when I was a kid that I wanted that one. I wanted the motorcycle that turned into a helicopter.
Right.
Because that was a cool idea.
That was like everybody's like gateway into Mask, like that was like the mascot for Mask for a long time.
Yeah.
And so like, okay, that's not gonna happen. And I was looking at more prices, and like Rhino's $100. I could sell my Rhino for 200 and buy two of them if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
The Switchblade is 75, and again, I could sell my Switchblade for about 100 in the condition that it's in and buy one. And then Thunderhawk, like their primary hero vehicle, is $50. They want the fans to show up and buy this shit, but they're not going to spend that much on it. I sure as shit am not. Like, I debated the Switchblade, but I was like, not for $75. Nope.
Well, a lot of people forget too that because I see them all the time doing where people say, "Hey, I wish they would do this line," or "Hey, this company should get this line of something,"
Mm-hmm.
and they forget that there's a reason why these shows only lasted less a season or less,
right?
And the toy line only lasted 1 to 2 waves back in the day when a wave came out every 6 months,
right?
So either it's a lot of people have a lot of memories tied up into it. So I really don't think that and the thing is just they'll sell those at that price.
Oh, I know.
First, but I think it'll drop off. I think the interest will drop off.
Yeah,
on it, and that's first I'd heard about the prices.
In the press release that came out a while ago, they're like, it's going to be an all new, like there's going to be all new things from Mask that you've never seen before in toy form finally. And I'm like, okay. And your first 4 right off the bat are the toys that we've seen before. You did a repeat of a character. Rhino comes with the Matt Tracker Rhino version, which is different than the Thunderhawk one. Like, so you got 2 of the same character, and there's literally nothing new on here. That price is bullshit. And especially for what you're getting. Like, if they went off the bat and they're like, hey, here's the Mako that everybody wants, right? The one that Ace made that costs a lot of money. Sorry, nothing against Ace, but I'm not paying that much. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And, like, if they would have done that and, like, let off with that would have been fucking great, And, yeah, it's just, that didn't happen. I mean, we got 4 repeats of, like, the classic vehicles, but even then we've got 3 good guys and 1 bad guy.
Yeah. Today, and also everybody considers a wave 3 to 4 figures.
Yeah.
Now, so you're like 25 figures in, 12 vehicles in a wave. For back in the day. So, but then I see that stuff. I know everybody's been going on about the Biker Mice from Mars stuff, and it's sitting on the pegs at Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, okay, here's our Biker Mice from Mars. Motorcycles aren't going to come out for another year.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, I understand that Nacelle is trying to build like a cartoon world with product.
Yeah.
But like, you have to make this product make sense. Like, you release Sectars without the spider things.
Yeah, I see those sitting on the shelves at Walmart. I see the Oh, it was that other one they did. I'm blanking on it. The
Barnyard.
well, it was it was the Max Steel robot where they update them into actual robots instead of the sucker
Right.
cups. They were, which I thought that was cool, but at the price you're asking for it for a very very obscure toy line that was
Mm-hmm.
hard to find back in the 80s when everything was easy to find. It was
That's Yeah, it's the same with like RoboForce. Like those things came out and they were awesome, right? But like that price tag that they had on them initially, like if you played the long game on that, you made out because they're like 10, $15 now. You know what I mean?
yeah. But that's it's crazy. Like I don't know where they get the pricing from, or they just really think the nostalgia market is
Well, so like from what I understand about Nacelle is that this is a layman's approach. This is how I'm looking at it. They are a boutique toy company that got the licenses to a bunch of '90s stuff that you know that people liked, or at least the people below my generation enjoyed. So
yeah
like that's cool and all, but you can still buy biker mice at an affordable price. You know what I mean?
yeah. So I think they re-released the Voltron stuff that was at Target about
Yeah.
7 or 8 years ago. They were re-releasing that, right? I think I've seen
Yeah.
those on the shelves.
I saw 2 full sets of it yesterday. So
Yeah, instead of doing that, you go ahead and re-release the vehicle Voltron again. You
yeah,
know, go on, give us the Voltron 2 that was never produced
right.
and released. The three robot thing. Um, yeah,
Or like we're also Mondo is also doing 6-inch figures now, and everybody's like, hell yeah, Mondo, they're doing it, and they released the real Ghostbusters, and like that's also my jam, my big jam
yeah,
besides Mask. And for the longest time, I was defending that price tag because I was like, we've never gotten a Sam Hain before, never gotten a Boogeyman before, and blah 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 blah. But like looking at it now, it's like I'm not. There's no way. There's no point to getting any of those at that price point, and like I think that's the problem with like collecting these days is that like yeah, we're all adults. Yeah, some of us have a lot of disposable income, but on the other hand, though, like I don't want to pay fucking $200 for a toy that looks like it came from NECA.
yeah. The original Kenner Run never did a Sam Hain,
No,
even
the
though
only
you
ones that did a Sam Hain was Extreme Ghostbusters, and then the Mondo esque one that came in a
yeah.
2-pack with Janine.
See again, Ghostbusters was one of those things where I love the movie and I actually loved the cartoon but I was
Mm-hmm.
in high school when all that came out. So and the toys
Yeah,
were I was still collecting GI Joe, but the toys were just way too cartoony. Even though I loved the cartoon,
yeah,
because it was well written, had some subjects that skirted the line sometimes, for a children's show, and Sam Hain was like one of them. Yeah,
yeah.
and, and he showed up several times, which I kind of liked. Like I thought that was cool. So I didn't know they didn't do Sam Hain in the original.
Well, I mean, it's like they never did the Boogeyman in the original. Like that became a boutique toy about
Yeah.
5 years ago, and I was an idiot and I bought that. They never did the Sandman, which was another recurring villain, and
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
and just like a lot of things are like kind of a disappointment looking back on it now because it's like okay, we got a bunch of random ghosts and we got a bunch of random humans, but like where's the iconic ghost that the Ghostbusters fought several times? And that's an adult looking back on a child's property, right? So
yeah.
like of course we're gonna be like like who cares?
I don't know why they haven't updated and released the Ecto 2, the the gyrocopter from the cartoon.
Oh, I'm aware. I have my original still. It's sitting on the Ghostbuster memorandum shelf that I have up in my living room. So I am Chad recently for my birthday. Actually, he got me the Extreme Ghostbusters Ecto One, which was really hard to find in the states. Um, Fully equipped and everything else, and I'm really happy with it. But yeah, it's literally my favorite like vintage franchise or just franchise
Yeah.
in general to collect.
So Thundar, Yeah, I barely remember Thundar as a kid because I said most of our Saturday mornings in the early '80s, most of our Saturday morning cartoons are recycled stuff from the '60s and '70s.
Yeah,
with a few new ones. So I remember kind of like vaguely Thundar. I used to confuse them with the Herculoids as a kid. you know, um,
yeah.
I would love to see them actually take a. See, I like the Thundercats reboot they did. I think it came out around at the same time the He-Man reboot, the 2000 series.
Mm-hmm.
So I they did the Thunder where it all took place on Thundar. That one. I was like, why? So why can't they give the same treatment to like Space Ghost and Birdman and stuff like that? I think those are pretty ripe for a more serious. I mean, the cartoon was serious, but it kind of become a joke. The Hanna Barbera have a joke, but I'd like to see somebody take a good swipe on that. But then again, there's a reason why those things didn't stay popular over the years.
Yeah. So in the private Jack, I'm putting a link to a Thundar the Barbarian toy. If somebody was asking about it, and if you want to throw that up and see why that's not flying off the shelves anymore.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things either they get torn between this. Do we do an exact recreation of what it looked like
That's
back then, or
yeah?
I'm still waiting for it. I'm not seeing it come up yet. Maybe a lag on my end.
No worries, but it's
when it comes up, I'll do it. But or the and I think it's kind of like the old He-Man. So like I said, I never really got into that. Because like I said, it was a little bit. I was kind of outside the demographic for it. And I kind of liked how I think Mattel did a good job of doing the when they brought He-Man back, doing both the retro version and the updated bodies to what was more modern, which I think that was a good idea to do.
You know what I like about what Mattel has done with all of their lines, right? Like, so you've got the wrestlers, which is that technically 4 different lines of figure. You've got like the classic, like the old school LJN and Hasbro shaped ones, right? Then you've got the basic, the elite, and the ultimate. And if you look at He-Man, it's almost the same way. You've got the origins or whatever. Now we've got the cartoon coming out, and now we've got Masterverse. So there's always something for like one set of collector or whatever for all of us to pick up because there's those 3 different versions of each figure, toy, whatever. And so that's honestly what I'm hoping for when they do DC. So
yeah, and I'm kind of so with the DC going back to Mattel. So I collect a little bit of the McFarlane DC. I was very selective with it, and I didn't care for the 7-inch. Like I know a lot of people say this. For me, it's an OCD. I like all my stuff to match.
Right.
I like all my stuff to play together, and that just comes back being the 3 3/4 inch Star Wars going to 3 3/4 inch GI Joe. Was the deal. So I was kind of very targeted in what I got from them. There was like certain versions of Batman I wanted. Like I think the first McFarlane figure I bought was the Thomas Wayne Batman. Because I really like that character. And then and my kids like it. My kids are fans of the Arkham game, the Arkham Asylum game. And I got one of them. His favorite character is he likes the Scarecrow from the first game. So when that came out, I got that in his room. Then towards the end here, I've been trying to collect, put together Justice League International. Yeah, because I'm a big Booster Gold fan. Mainly how he got treated later in the series, where he turned him into a redemption story, which I like that. So I was able to get the Booster Gold, the Blue Beetle from that era. They just put out Fire. Even though I wish I would put her out in like normal form and not the flame effect.
Yeah.
Then I have Captain Atom, and when they announced the Guy Gardner figure, I thought, oh, cool, because I got the Superpowers Guy Gardner. Then they showed him in the his Warrior, where he lost the ring with the O. I was like, oh, I want to get that too. And now to find I'm not going to be able to complete the line.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's the thing too. Then. So I just have to see what they do in the Mattel line. Even though I used to have a lot of the Mattel figures when 6-inch figures. I got rid of all of those at some point. So it's like, unless you give me some version of Batman that I really like that they don't have, but I don't think I'm going to be getting the Mattel stuff unless they, and the other thing too is I like that McFarlane was slowly slipping in Wildstorm characters.
Yeah, that was also kind of cool too. But like even then, like the Grifter that we got kind of sucked from McFarlane. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because he didn't have any guns.
Yeah, right. And like, where are his
guns? So I got him, and then I got the Midnighter figure, and I'm like, "Oh, come on, man! You have the body, you have the Superman body. Just do a little retooling, and you've got Mr. Majestic. Take the Wonder Woman body, make a few changes, and you got Sister Zealot. If you don't give me anything else, at least give me a Zealot figure, to go with the Grifter figure.
Yeah."
DC Classics.
Oh, that sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then the construction on the McFarlane figures weren't really. He made some weird, like I never understood the weird choices with the hands. Instead of having the peg on the wrist, having just a peg in the hand stuck into it. That was kind of, I had a lot of the hands would fall off because it didn't, peg in right because it was weird like that. And the weird shoulder joints with the round pieces of plastic that cover the shoulder joints was kind of weird. So I might not get DC, and then Legends is just throw out. It's just these deep cut characters or Iron Man. Like I'm a sucker for Iron Man. I just need them to do 4 armors to complete the original 13 models. From the Mark 1 all the way to the Mark 13. With that, then I'll be happy with that. Then everything else is just it's got to be interesting. Like after that, so.
Yeah, it's what I got like really into from McFarlane was those DC superpowers.
Yeah. At first, I was just because I never had the superpower stuff as a kid or the Secret Wars.
Yeah, because that was out of your age range. Like you said, you're like 10 when this came out. So
I knew about it, and I wasn't reading. The only comic I was, I'd read issues here and there, and I had like a teacher that had like a whole in our reading cubby in 5th grade had a whole stack of comics from the 60s, but there was no continuity or completion, so they're just random stories. So like G.I. Joe's like the first one I really got into because it was serialized, then it slowly spread to others. So, but then I got the because I said when they started doing these, I'm a big fan of Justice League International. Yeah, it's quirky, it's fun, especially like Booster Gold and Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
So by the time the Superpowers collection got around to doing these guys, I started collecting them.
Yeah.
And then I missed the Bug, Blue Beetle's Bug. So
check Ross. They're showing up at Ross's.
Okay, I had to go because the last time I saw one was at GameStop.
Yeah.
And I missed that, so I want to get the Bug for that. But then, so I was is he losing the ability to do the Superpower collection too?
I honestly couldn't tell you. Today at Toy Fair, they showed off some 6-inch superpowers. So I'm a little confused as to what's going on, but that's by McFarlane too. But again, though, it's too little too late, in my opinion. Like, if McFarlane wanted to, do that, he should have done it from the get. Like, it's like you said, who wants the 7-inch figure that can't fit in with, your Action Force or your Legends? And, that's why I buy DC Mayfix stuff, because those can, but like $100 a figure is not a good time. No. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah, I just because I think the Superpowers line was just really starting to kick in and find its groove. Yeah, I didn't care too much about him doing figures that weren't classic or appeared in didn't appear in the first line, like the more modern, like the Batman Who Laughs and stuff like that. The people are all over that figure. But then I like them doing the '90s Nightwing. That and I got that in the McFarlane line too. Is that '90s Nightwing with his wasn't quite the original one. It was a second version of it. I wish they would do the one with actually the big collar and the deep V cut on the chest. The true, the true 80. I'm sorry, the 80s version of Nightwing, the first version of Nightwing. But
Disco
it was cool.
Yeah,
but it was that 90s version with the same costume, just didn't have the collar, and he's had the 90s. If you didn't have the ponytail, then you rock the mullet. Typed in. That was also the era too that in order to jazz a character up, you just put a leather bomber jacket on top of their old costume too. So
absolutely,
and give them some patches and pouches and more belt straps all over them.
I mean, that's what they did with that Nightwing. It's like you said, he had like gold bands across his chest, like, and he had wings that were more predominant, and like, because everybody forgets that he used to, be able to stretch out his arms and he'd be able to glide. And I guess that's gone these days. So
probably afraid some kid will try to jump off a roof. Probably. I mean, I knew some stupid kids, but I never knew any kids that were that stupid. So, was there anything else? Like I said, I just focused on kind of things I was looking at. I mean, I'm not big into like any. I don't know if Toy Fair is announcing this stuff or there's
there.
Mafex is kind of out of my range. Mezco is the same way too.
That's why it's just usually one figure a month for me. That's usually my rule.
I did see though for classified, I've shared my theory about, like I said, if you were if you were, and it always seems like there's more people I talk to that if you were around 10 years old when G.I. Joe came out, you were more of a fan of the comic and things that went on there. Because you were,
if you were my age, you're a fan of the cartoon.
And I know over the years, like that was kind of when Devil's Due did the G.I. Joe run, he tried to slip comic stuff, cartoon stuff in there, and it was a very egregious success. I think in the thing they tried doing some of the same things, the IDW run that wasn't the Hama run and stuff like that. So in the Skybound universe are kind of doing the same thing a little bit, but the folks that are introducing the cartoon elements are doing it, I think, very well thought out, where it makes sense in that universe to have those elements in there. But the guys running classifieds are from the cartoon era generation, so they so the Cold Slither does nothing for me. That box set, and I hear most people saying they want it just for the instruments, and I think I could go and find a 1/12 set instrument set on Amazon for around $40-$50. So I could save myself a couple $100. But I did see, I think I did see a picture though of snake armor.
Yeah,
and it looks like they're doing it not as the armor, but as like a mech suit.
Yeah, that the center folds down. There's a picture of it folded up, and then there was one folded down, and like you can fit a whole figure in there, and like, I mean, all that stuff is like neat and all that, and like I don't want to sound like an asshole, but like the only thing I'm collecting from Joe anymore is Night Force and like a couple retro carded, figures every once in a while. So like, and I think I'm going to be passing on the Night Force 2-pack that they showed, like Beachhead and Night Force Quick Kick.
Oh, nah.
Yeah.
So I am the only sub team in the classified line I'm collecting is the Slaughters Marauders.
Yeah.
I like that. That time is like one of the last of the sub teams. And so I did see they introduced the Footloose for the box line, which means they'll do a Slaughters Marauders version of Footloose. And the only other one they have to do is they just got to get around to repainting Mutt and Junkyard.
Right.
And I'll have that sub team complete. I don't need any more additions to that team. So Robert, listen, you probably are a very hardcore Cold Slither fan. You probably have the tattoo. You probably bought the exclusive Soundwave a few years back that came as the van with the Cold Slither logo on it. So you're not fooling me, brother. Yeah, how would Night? See, I haven't even seen Night Force Quick. What they just make his pants blacker, and do they give him a shirt or something?
I looked at it for 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm getting literally nothing out of this. There's a mask, and he's got pants, of course. It looks like shit. It looks god awful. And I say this now, and I'm like, yeah, fuck this, but I'll probably buy the goddamn thing. So
I'm surprised, even though it was the version 2 of the Vamp. I'm surprised they haven't taken the Vamp that they did and already have done it in Tiger Force paint.
I think it'd be nice to get a Night Force Vamp.
Yeah. Well, they gave us a Night Force Ram cycle.
Oh yeah. Jesus Christ.
Something that was never a Night Force vehicle.
Well, that and the fact that on the side of it says fucking stealth or whatever. It's it's oh god, really? Okay. And oh Jesus. I remember getting that thing and looking at it and just being like, does this really fucking say what I think it says? It sure does. Huh. So that's where I was at with that.
Yeah. And, so in classifieds is another line I'm very picky on what I get out of it. I would like to get the original 13, but unless they reissue something with Clutch, that's not going to happen. Thankfully, they're reissuing Breaker, a better version of Breaker that came with the Ram cycle.
Yeah.
And then Steeler will probably be in some sort of HasLab Mobat, so I'll never see that one. So with that, and then I get a few of them that Leatherneck. I really wanted the Leatherneck and the Gung Ho, the retro Gung Ho.
Yeah.
And then I picked up Starduster the other day because that was purely because I was never got the mail away one as a kid. So it's and it's just a quirky figure. So I got that. So I'm very particular on the which ones I get, and again they frustrate me too. Oh, I didn't know Stacy was in here. Hey, Stacy. See, I'm not going to be nice. I'm not going to yell at you like everybody else does. Yeah, so I would like for I do Army build Crimson Guardsmen and their variants and the bats, unfortunately. But I only Army build the variants of the bats. So I got the regular bat, the Crimson bat, and I just don't have an Arctic bat.
Yeah. I like the Cobra Troopers, just like the normal troopers, especially the retro carded ones. That just I 3 is my rule. 3 is the stopping point, so I don't have a situation. And but I've bought 4 of those, and I think that I want to get a couple more because I think they're pretty neat. I'm not a fan that they don't have backpacks, so you can't store their crap. But I mean, whatever. Who cares? So.
I was also a fan of Destro's faction growing up. So I don't know why they have not given us a gold mass Destro yet in his Iron Grenadier outfit. I bought the Iron Grenadier, and I've got Metalhead and the bat. It makes no sense to have a bat for the Iron Grenadiers for me, but I'm trying to complete the set. I like the Iron Grenadier, but to me, I don't know where along the line that the Iron Grenadier figure started translating into a World War II German officer uniform.
Yeah, it's a little much.
Because to me, that looks like they just had a Red Skull figure from the MCU line around, and they swapped the heads out.
Somebody did that, actually. I can't remember who did it. I'm terrible at that, but they took the Iron Grenadier body and then threw a Red Skull head on it. It looks fucking great. So
yeah, so I just don't know where along the line that they kind of equated a Scottish arms dealer from the Highlands into doing
criminal.
Yeah, group. Doing a German army uniform, but
nothing says Scottish armbands, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
That's all I had. Toy Fair was cool and all, but I mean,
yeah. Well, Toy Fair, like I said, it used to be Toy Fair. The New York Toy Fair used to be just where everybody would come, all the manufacturers would come to sell their stuff to the stores,
right?
And nobody's doing that today. So it used to be a time to convince the public to get excited about this stuff and go bug your local store. And now it's like Hasbro shows up with just basically everything we've already know they're doing. There are very few surprises, with toy fairs. So it's like, why are you even, by then it made sense for Hasbro back when they took over all the conventions, the Joe with the Transformers, because that was going to be their showcase, and then they stopped doing that. So,
yeah, and I mean that's Hasbro for you. Yep. I guess they're allergic to money, so.
I tell folks all the time that they're unfortunately at the point that, as a corporation, where they can lose money in one area but still make it in another. They can actually make money off of losing money. So their goal is to no longer, again, like I said, folks just don't understand the magical feeling of going into a store and seeing an entire toy aisle, with product on it, and whether you had $5 left over from your birthday money or $50 for Christmas money, there was something on that shelf in that brand that you could buy that was going to be consistent with everything. You buy a $4 Skyhawk and put the same $2 figure in it that you could put in the $20 Sky Striker,
right?
And it all worked together. And the idea was to sell as much as possible, not leave any money on the table. Now their goal is just to not have a loss, so they can say to their shareholders, we sold just as much as we predicted we were going to sell. And if we have to make fewer toys to hit that number, then, that's what we'll do. So it's sad. But then I guess that's also too why he said, I tell folks all the time, I know it sounds like I'm a shill for Valverse. Is like, that's his story and the business model he has set up resonates with me, because he wants to make money, but he also wants to make customers. He wants to make things that customers enjoy, and so that's why I like it so much. I guess so. I'll buy all the repaints, and that's why I just spend $100.
Right.
Today, and would have spent a little bit more if you would have had the other one.
It's
yeah.
Well,
all right.
Well, I appreciate it too. So at least there's that.
So an hour and a half. That's not bad for an impromptu stream. Maybe this will teach them to take off and not want to do their job for us. I appreciate you coming on, and
sure.
Yeah, I might do one of these another time, because I'd like, and if Robert would have been on, or I would have loved to have him come on and talk too. I like the cut of his jib. So how can I sort of, he's been around 5 or 6 years, have shills. Has one thing about it. Yeah. And that's why I'm rooting for him, and I root for him with my wallet. Without reservation. So, all right. Well, with that, like I said, I don't do any fancy outros, intros, cutoffs. So that again, thank you for folks that showed up on the chat. For those of you that, I think pretty much in there is already a subscriber. So, but if you're not, then please like and subscribe. So when I hit 500 in the next year and a half, I want to give away that Fortnite boat. But I better enjoy it, and I guess I'll see all you guys around in the chat. So y'all have a good night.
Take it easy, everybody.
Oh, good night. Yep, we'll work something out, Robert. Trust me, it's gonna be good. All right, good night, y'all. Yeah, I don't do after shows. One, because I'm not to the point where I can even get super chats. It's that's in part of my 5-year plan. All right, y'all have a good night. Thank you, guys, and I'll see y'all later.